Well, here's what the great thing about the summer kits for Catholic families is that they are free and there is no shipping. So these are fantastic. And we just kind of wanted to share this resource with you. If you're a catechetical leader at a parish, this is an opportunity for you to, take a look at this and share this with your families. You can do that in a number of ways. You can just grab the link right up here from the top of the screen, copy that and send that to your families. I guess you could download them and send them out as attachments, just add a lot of links because you would get a link for each resource or a PDF for each resource. You could print these out and make some available at your masses on the weekend. Hey, here's something free for you to take with you. So there are a lot of ways that you could distribute these, but we wanted to dig in just a bit. So which one should we, well, let's see, what kits do we have, Deacon Matt?
Well, we've got that Eucharist family kit, family faith summer kit, summer prayer kit, and another family faith summer kit.
Wow, where do we begin?
Well, I think we should start with the Eucharist. We had a recent show on Eucharist, so you want to check that out at catechiststream.com. It'll blow your mind.
Yeah, on the Eucharistic revival, right? Yeah, check that out. That was just a couple of weeks ago. That kicked off on Corpus Christi Sunday. To claim your kit, go to this link, and I think we've already got it plugged into the chat box for you, and you will click on download now for each of the kits. So let's look at what this is going to look like for you. I download a lot of these free things, these free resources. So you just simply put in your email address and then you click submit. And this is going to give me a link to download. So I'm going to download this family kit, and it's that easy. You have it that quickly. So let's just kind of look at what this has. We want to explore these kits just a bit. So you can print this kit using double-sided print settings to save paper. So that's a wonderful tip from the beginning. And then this tells you what's included. So a lot of a variety of resources, making the most out of Mass, 3 things to help families worship well, learn together with the 5 tips for teaching the Mass ebook, print and follow along my Mass book, find everything in your parish church from my parish church activity, and understand the parts of the Mass with the printable Mass mobile?
I don't know.
How do you say it in your part of the country? I think we say mobile.
We're probably wrong. I think we say mobile.
Yeah. So, and then these all follow. This all in the same resource. So look at, oh my goodness. Look at this. So below are 3 tips from Deacon Dr. Matthew Holmback.
Until you highlighted it. Apparently I put this together. So.
Yeah, right? You did. Dad of 6 kids, aged 7 months to 11 years. That'll tell you when this was put together.
Because as soon as I saw that point number 1, I'm like, God, we do that all the time. Yeah. So anyway.
Well, then why don't you explain it to us?
All right, I'll be happy to. This is obviously put together, if you have smaller kids, but all these activities will also work for older kids as well too, that are further down in the kit. But as far as sitting near the sanctuary, case in point, just literally yesterday, we have a family of 6, youngest are 3, 3-year-old twins, oldest is 14. If we don't sit up close to the sanctuary, it is a disaster. And the worst part is that we have to open up to the gym for overflow. And so we ended up sitting in the gym, which then for our kids' minds, like especially the little ones, it's like, oh, it's a gym. Where are the basketballs? Let's run on the bleachers. Let's take our shoes off and do all kinds of crazy stuff. And it doesn't matter. I mean, we have a big screen there in the gym so you can kind of follow along, but there's nothing that replaces sitting up close. It just really seems to engage the kids. Then the cry rooms, we don't even have cry rooms in our parish. And in the last 4 parishes that we've been in, there's only been a cry room in one of those parishes. Interestingly enough, in that particular parish, there were more adults in the cry room than there were kids. So figure that one out. I think we do have some whiny adults that do need to be in there. But
I was going to say, I have my theories on that, but I'll keep them to myself.
That's a whole nother story. But do try to reserve the cry rooms for moms with little babies and so forth. Anyway, finally, celebrate a good experience at Mass. What did I even say there, Steve? Oh, yes. So one of the things that we do, not all the time, but sometimes, and this would be a great thing to do on vacation, is add going out to breakfast if you're doing a morning Mass, like as a capstone. So we go to Mass, And then the treat is we're going to go to breakfast in this new place on vacation. But take time at breakfast to like ask a question about Mass. Like, do you remember anything the priest said? Do you remember what the readings were? Could you share like one of your prayers that you prayed during Mass or something like that? So that's a wonderful way to kind of reflect on the experience right after you have it. Because if you don't do that, sometimes it's hard to remember what happened and you just forget altogether.
Yeah. I remember when we went to Mass on Sunday mornings, our parish has a teen Mass, and when our kids got old enough, we sort of shifted to Sunday night when the teen Mass took place. But so many years after Mass, taking the family out to brunch or lunch afterwards, and having those conversations, because kids, we all know kids say the darndest things. I guess that's a TV show, but what they did walk away with, what they could remember or be reminded of sometimes, it's amazing. It really led to wonderful conversation that often were teaching points or sort of expanded into other areas. And I value that. We used to go to this one place every week, and just a quick short story. And there was a man that looked like Santa Claus that also went there every Sunday, and he would take time and sit with our kids and talk to them. And they never said, "Is that Santa?" But they, to him, but to us, they were like, "That's Santa Claus." And we were like, and so we still talk about that to this day. Remember when, Santa Claus was always at the breakfast place. It's just funny things that you remember. It makes for really great memories.
This 5 tips for teaching the Mass, the first one's got to be the most important. This is about and it's so hard for parents, but we do set the example, we set the tone. We might not feel like it, we might be frustrated or whatever's going on, but what a time to witness to your faith. And I always tell the story. I remember when Mikey, my oldest, who's at the time was 4 years ago, we were singing a hallelujah, and he asked me what that word meant. I said, "It means we praise you, Lord." And he goes, "Well, are we supposed to be happy when we sing it?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, you don't look happy." And I'm like, "Oh." And I looked around, and like nobody in the immediate area looked very happy. And this is just a word I made up, but I think it's a great term. It creates catechetical dissonance. It just does, because we say one thing about what Mass is supposed to be, but then we show another.
Right.
And it creates confusion, and it makes our words less credible and believable. So that first point feeds into the second one. It's not like, "Well, we got to go to Mass today." Oh. It's, hey, you know what? We're going to see Jesus today, to really emphasize that this is a miraculous thing that we're going to receive and experience. If you want to keep scrolling for me real quick.
Yeah, but I want to tell you a story really quick, because that reminds me of every moment, every Sunday during the moment of consecration, I would whisper to the kids' ears. This is when they were very young. "There's Jesus. There's Jesus." So I did that for my twins, and then my youngest, who's an awful lot like me, because my mom, who's watching, hi Mom, prayed for me to have a child exactly like myself. So I'll never forget the day when I was whispering in his ear, "There's Jesus," and he goes, "No," really loudly. And it was so funny, and I was so embarrassed.
That's so funny. I think that number 3, the point was about breaking down the Mass for kids. In fact, these kits that we're showing help to do that. So just keep that in mind. I won't say too much more about that. Don't be afraid to talk during Mass, to kind of teach about what's happening too. Like Steve was whispering to his kids, this is the time Jesus is present now at the consecration, etc. And then creating a kid-friendly environment, I think these kits help with that too, because they have activities that pertain to Mass and to our faith. And so even if they're busy drawing things or putting a mobile together, at least it has something to do with their faith.
Nice. So a lot of great resources here for you. This is a Mass book that can be printed and folded together. So print, cut, and fold in 3 easy steps, your own Mass book. So this is helping the children to follow along. So this follows the flow of the Mass with pictures and words. So that's a great resource. And then this, what are we looking at here, Deacon Matt?
Well, here we have different things and spaces around the sanctuary, and just to try to connect those numbers.
Okay.
It's not easy. There's one, I think, is it in here? No. It must be in our new K through 8 series, Christ in Us. But in that version, they ask, what is the case with the oils called?
Oh,
It's a tough one.
yeah. We'll let you look that up and drop that in the chat box.
You want to go on to the here, sir. By the way, folks, Steve was so excited to make this mobile, but I'm guessing he didn't follow through because he would have told me about it before the show. But when we first looked at this, he was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm doing that." Steve reminds me of the dad who's like, "Look, we're gonna get this mask kit because I really want you all to pay attention, but it's really for Steve because Steve loves these things."
Hey, and afterwards, these can go on the Christmas tree. You know what I'm saying? Because I can see, right?
Utility.
Yeah. Just print them on a little thicker paper, get your kids. You'll have keepsakes for a lifetime. So anyway, that's only one kit. That's the Eucharist family kit that really help you connect with the Mass and worship well together. So that's a great resource. Should we show one more of these, Deacon Matt?
Let's do the Family and Faith Summer Kit.
Oh, let's look at this one. So you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to click download now. This is going to want a little more information. So
Steve's address, by the way.
Yeah, just go ahead and send me a postcard from wherever you are on your family vacation. So we're going to download that now. And once again, voila, Family and Faith Summer Kit.
Steve, you should know what's in this one.
Yeah, I've seen this a couple of times. I can talk about this resource for you. Ambry, Debbie says in the chat box.
For the oils case.
Oh, very good. She Googled it. No, I bet she already knew that.
She knew.
So this is the Family and Faith Kit powered by Christ in Us. So, that sounds exciting. So here you'll find 8 themed sessions. So maybe one for each week of the summer, roughly 8 solid weeks of summer, each featuring a saint, a connection to Catholic faith and life, activities, and a prayer. And then through your sessions, your family will explore themes, 8 different themes, right? So you've got resources for 8 different sessions. And in each resource, you've got Partners in Faith, which you can read about saints and discuss what your family can learn from their lives, what makes us Catholic and supporting Catholic identity. A mini task, which is a family project. At Home, which is a feature to discover how to act on the session's theme as a family. So it's a great suggestion, a prayer opportunity, and even a feature to support missionary discipleship, which is what we do on Catechist Stream. Reflect on the questions and take turns sharing your experiences. So let's take a look at session 1, singing praise to God. Now we've got a table of contents that tell you about each one of the session themes. So on this one, we're singing praise to God. That was a pause for you to jump in, Deacon Matt.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your pause. We script these things heavily, folks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Steve. Where did you pause?
So we're just starting off on this particular session. So just looking at the variety of resources that you have for each one of the themes.
Right. So this pairs really well, this part, all these features, if you have the Christ in Us K through 8 program. So where it says learn more about St. Hildegard, who's a very interesting saint, by the way. You could go into your Christ in Us portal. And then we have our What Makes Us Catholic feature, which addresses things that are particularly Catholic. It reminds me of a book that I've loved most of my adult Catholic life, which is called Why Do Catholics Do That? And it explains a lot of the gestures and customs and things like that. So it's a nice feature.
Probably a good book for summer reading. Maybe we should do, a Catechist Stream on like summer reading.
Yeah, could be coming up real soon.
Let us know in the comments if you like that idea. A simple yes or no will do. Okay, let's keep going. There's a mini task. So you're making a praise spinner. It's just great. It's a faith-driven, wholesome family activity. So this is something, these resources are for all ages. So this isn't dependent on young children or older children. These resources are designed that the whole family could be participating in these. There's the at-home feature. Ask your family members how you can pray for them and let them know how to pray for you. And take a few moments and actually pray. And here is a scripted prayer in supporting our partner in faith for this particular theme, St. Hildegard, and then the missionary discipleship feature. So you can see that you've got a lot, and this isn't a session in the sense it's not a class. This isn't a curriculum specifically for families. This is something maybe where they could take one thing, at a time. So you start with the first one, well, we'll go to the next one, and let's just learn about this partner in faith, and maybe that's all we do today. So it doesn't have to be long and drawn out. It's just take a few minutes together, and then you can move to the next thing. You can create your own pace for these. So it's a really, really fabulous resource, and it's all for free. So you've got that link in your chat box. Deacon Matt, what else are we thinking about sharing regarding the summer kits for Catholic families?
I think we're done talking about the summer kits. I think we've covered those pretty well, those two examples. So we might want to go back and recap.
Let's go back to a recap. But, I just saw a message from our support team, Debbie, that said these are available in English as well as Spanish. So we have them for you, whether you prefer English or Spanish, those are available. So you choose.